Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session on Shopify as a gift catalog platform for nonprofits. Um, Excited to get to present to you all. Just a quick introduction to myself, and uh, G will give an introduction to himself when he begins his piece of this. But Rick Ericson, Senior Director of Donor Pipeline Engagement and Growth at Holt International. For the last 8 years, I've been in a variety of fundraising roles and roles supporting Holt's technology team. A little bit of just a project background to set G up. In the spring of 2023, we had a pretty big problem at Holt on our marketing team. So we had a proprietary gift catalog platform that was going to no longer be supported at the end of 2023. The proprietors of that platform weren't going to update that version of Drupal that it was built on. And so it was a lot of fundraising revenue for us through that platform. We'd had a lot of success with it over the years. About 20% of our omnichannel marketing dollars at the time were coming in through this particular platform. With year-end fundraising, planning, and implementation just a few months away, we had to quickly explore our options. So we looked at, could we build a new platform from scratch on WordPress, which was our website platform, with an integration with our payment gateway, email tool, and CRM. For us, that was prohibitively expensive and would have required quite a bit of outside developer work. We looked at, could our current marketing platform, email marketing platform, or a different email marketing platform support that kind of a gift catalog? And again, lots of development, lots of customization, prohibitively expensive. Finally, we looked at, could we implement a best-in-class e-commerce shopping platform and make that work for our representational gift catalog and other fundraising? The big challenge there was, could we replicate and improve on the current functionality, donor experience of our gift catalog in a tool designed primarily for e-commerce shopping? Title of the presentation probably gives it away. Within 5 months, our marketing and tech team had transitioned our gift catalog and some of our campaigns to Shopify in time for our year-end fundraising. One note, we had converted to BBCRM about a half a year prior. And had we not done that, we wouldn't have had the tools that we needed to be able to make this possible. And with that, I want to turn it over to G.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. I will assume that everybody can hear me, so I'll just carry on with my presentation. My name is Gaurav Tripathi. I am the Senior Solutions Analyst for Holt. I work for the IT/finance team, and I've been with Holt for about 3.5 years, and I focus, thank you for all your confirmation that you can hear me. Appreciate it. I basically focus on building solutions at Holt in whatever capacity that may be, focusing primarily on the technical aspect, but I do also help with user experience, sort of wearing the BA hat and do that sort of thing. So with having said that, I will jump right into the demo since we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to share my screen, and it's going to be a proper demo. So I'm going to do that, share. And there you go. I think everybody can see my screen, right? Correct? Rick, can you confirm? Awesome. All right. So the reason I'm going to start from here, and because this is our main website, as you can see, this is our whole website. And the reason is because there is a hyperlink on the top. And this is important because this is kind of where the whole attribution and things like that starts. If I click on this link, on top, as you can see, we have a bunch of UTM parameters that we've applied, which essentially allows us to track what appeal we are using, what source code we are using. And these are the terminologies that I'm sure all the BBCRM folks are familiar with, and what marketing efforts are we using, things like that. And so that allows us to track that, and it basically captures those information, and it's persist over, even though they move from one page to another, which is fantastic, because that was something that was missing, in fact, in our older tool. So this is our Shopify gift catalog. We call it Gifts of Hope. And as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. It's like a website, web tool. You click on one of the products, it takes you to the page. You have, frequently bought together. And this is a really cool tool because this is almost like an AI-driven tool that kind of compiles some of the products that are similar, and then it gives you that option, and it's been really helpful to do that. Of course, you can see you may also like. And of course, there's a way to add certain items. You can to your checkout page. There's also an option to send a physical card, like a greeting card, if it's like somebody's birthday and things like that. And we're in the process of making this function a little bit better. And there's also an e-card option, and you can type your message and things like that and send it to them, to the recipient, whoever that may be. So that's essentially the front end. And one of the tools that we're using to export that data is this tool called Data Export. And I'm sure some of you already know this. Shopify is almost like it's got its own app store, almost, for lack of a better word, where you go and you pick and choose applications that other Shopify developers have built, and you pick and choose depending on what functionality you want to use, you want to have on your platform. And this is the one that we figured was the best option for us to essentially create a report and schedule it. And it will spit out a CSV file that all the attribution, all the gift information, things like that. And I'm not going to show you a whole lot here, but as you can see there, you can do FTP settings, which is how we get the data, and you can schedule it on a nightly basis, and it will send the report in a flattened spreadsheet to this FTP that we've configured here. And just to give you a glimpse of what that report looks like, this is what the data set looks like. It has the date and all the SKU, quantity, cost of the item. And the one we talked about earlier, the attribution was, as you can see here, the source code, the channel, the appeal, and more importantly, also the payment method, which I'll explain that in detail later. And the other one is, if I can do this here, number, order item, and then also the line item ID. And this will become important later, and I can explain it to you in detail. But essentially, that's what the data set looks like. After that, we will jump into Blackbaud. So inside Blackbaud, we're using a tool called Velocity, which was developed by Zuri as part of the Expert Access tool. And we have utilized this tool for do many, many things. And it's been a fantastic tool to automate processes, almost do like a low-code, no-code integration, which is what this essentially is. And then with that, we can basically stage data. And so as you can see right here, the staging essentially means there's a flat file. And then when you run the process, it maps it to a staging table, which is like a temp table. And you have a bunch of, these are C# formulas. Those are like one-line formula that you can use to convert some of the incoming data into what you want based on. So I have a bunch of them for appeal, for designations, and so on and so forth. And this is what the data looks like when it's staged right here. And so having said that, what we're going to do is I'm going to run this process. So as you can see, there are 5 records read, and I'm using the same file, this one right here, put the 5 records in there. And then I'm going to go back to the constituent batch. So what this does is it looks up for the constituents based on their name, first name, last name, the email address, their address and phone number, and matches them if there are any existing constituent inside CRM so that we don't create duplicate records. And then it will essentially either update or just give us an error saying, hey, this record already exists, merge it, all that good stuff. So I'm going to start this process here. And I'm doing this in stages, but in reality, it's actually in a queue. So like step 1, step 2, step 3, it will run all of those at the same, sequentially, and then all that process will be done once the queue process is finished. So it's validating and committing the batches. There you go. Now it's total records process 7, and now the last one is the revenue batch, and then I'm going to run this process too. So revenue essentially will commit, grab the constituents, add the line items to each of them, and then put them in the revenue transaction records. And the way we've done it is, it doesn't, like, for example, we have 5 different line items for the same constituent. We will actually highlight them as individual line items. Okay, what happened here? Okay, go. There's the batch. There's an error on that batch. There's a payment method of other. And I don't want to go into details, but this is basically, if I have a payment method other, I can just choose a PayPal because that's one of the other payment method. And this is a good, actually, an error, because I can show you what happens there as well. So I can validate this. Okay, validate complete, save and close. And I can just show you what this batch actually looks like. Okay, there you go. So you can see here there are records, and there are designation, their lookup ID, and things like that. And there are some fake records as well. As you can see, there's all these information coming through, gifts of hope, and these will all be attributed to each of these constituents. Right, looks like that. Let's see. You can also split the batch if you want to split the batch based on the payment method. You can do that too. For example, if I go here, I can do, and our finance team does that a lot. Like, for example, PayPal is a separate payment gateway, so we use that as a separate batch, and we'll split them based on the payment method as well. But I don't want to go into details because we're all familiar with the batch process, obviously. And once that is committed, you can go to the record. I can commit it, and then you can see what that looks like. Okay, so now 25, 26 records processed, and we can always choose to see one of the records. I'm going to go to committed batches here. Go. So I'm going to pick one of these records. 8-111 51 56. As you can see the revenue record, the total revenue is showing here. You can go to revenue history, and it will show you the line items right here, the date of the purchase, the amount, and what it was attributed to. So if you click on the gift type, it will show you a lot of the information that we needed. the source code, the appeal, the effort, all that good stuff. So that is it, really. That's the whole process. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, not a lot of complications there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. If you have any questions, I think this is the time now.
G, do you want me to do a quick wrap up? And then if
Yes.
we have any additional questions at that point, Erin, if you want to surface them. So I do want to share just really quickly a few of the outcomes. So at a pretty challenging moment for us with staffing challenges, budget, year-end fundraising coming rapidly, this turned into a pretty big win for us. It went from being a major risk and kind of a potential, major issue for us to being a big win. We didn't end up using really hardly any external implementation or development help or cost. We haven't really needed any significant outside web development since we launched it. I think G would be the first one to tell you he's not a web developer. He may play one on TV occasionally, but we also there's new add-ins and new functionality, new features being developed all the time for Shopify. And so we can kind of go back and see what's been developed recently. Is it something that could be useful for us? And, G and the marketing team are constantly looking for ways that we can improve the experience. I'll also say, so in terms of actual results, and this is pretty wild for a new platform, we actually saw a 7% increase in average gift year over year in the last quarter of the year. So the main giving quarter compared to the same quarter the previous year. We saw an 18% increase in total revenue year over year, and it was about an 8x reduction in cost. I can't think of many times as a fundraiser where all of those things have been true. I'll also say, I think that these stats bear this out, but we saw an improved user experience on what had already been a good user experience, one of our best donation user experiences. And we're able to provide more functionality. So abandoned cart is a feature for Shopify that we were able to take advantage of. And again, the tool is just improving all of the time. That's kind of my recap, and we'll just open it up again. Erin, I see a few questions in the chat. If you want to pick off any particular themes. G, I see one question about what plugin. Oh, you already answered the plugin.
I answered it. Yeah, it's called GiftLab. I can explain it a little bit more. It's basically they have different tools under that umbrella name, GiftLab, and that's the one we use. It's not, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this is not one of the better tool. I'm in fact looking for another tool that can do a better job of eCart, because I'm frankly not really happy with how it works, and that's one of the items that we're going to work on for this holiday season. The other one is filtering. The filtering is fairly, it's okay on our store, but I think we want to improve that as well. But because it's a kind of a la carte, choose what you want sort of thing, platform, you can find a multitude of platforms depending on what you want to do with that tool. So yeah, I mean, it's a great platform, and you can make it work. We in fact even did. We're thinking about, Rick, and you can speak to it more. Was using it for peer-to-peer fundraising, kind of like doing kind of like what TeamRaiser does, in some ways, but sort of a different way, sort of targeted for the gift catalog versus anything else.
GS, you one other question that we could answer here too.
Do you have any items? That question, the splitting the gifts, I'm not from the finance, so I would have to.
I can take that one, G.
Okay, so let's go. Awesome.
So not yet is the answer. So we don't have any. I guess the IRS would consider significant benefits or premiums that we're providing through our gift catalog right now. but it's something that we're looking at, and some of our peers do that. And so that's a future project for us. And just from my experience with G and with the platform, I suspect we'll find a solution for that. So,
Thanks, Rick. There's another question. Oh, it's like somebody was sharing something, I guess.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, the options are, I think, the limitless, and it's just, you can make it what you want to make it, which is great. And somebody like me who's not a full-fledged web developer, even though I have some experience in web development, it was easy enough for me to figure it out and build this whole thing,
I should point out one other thing too, G, that I should have said it earlier.
Right.
We really didn't use any web staff to actually
No.
bring all of the content in either.
No.
So our marketing team, my omnichannel marketing manager and our email marketer, did a fantastic job of bringing in all the content themselves. And so we were, again, not reliant on coders to be able to actually do the build out. And I was here when we implemented the proprietary platform. I bet we spent 90 days and had web developers involved to actually bring all of that content online and do all the setup. And that just wasn't the case this time.
Okay. Topher. Sure. Yeah. I don't know how you say it, Topher. I will be more than happy to chat over email.
All right. I see one more question. How did you get buy-in from the board to start working with Shopify? Any prior use cases to justify the spend? So having done this a few times, and by this I mean implementing large technology projects, G and I have been partners in a couple of much bigger projects. We already have a really good technology relationship with our board, and we with any of our projects, we usually will do a write-up on here are the options, these are the pros and cons, the estimated costs. What's really interesting is our total estimated costs to actually move to Shopify were below our board threshold. I can't remember the last time that was true for a major technology project. So I was able to just go to and to our philanthropy and communications leadership and get approval for this. And the big question was really just, could we do it? The cost really was not a concern. The lift was so light compared to what we would have been used to. That wasn't a concern. It's, could we pull it off? To basically answer those questions on the front end. Okay. So
they offer a great price structure for 513 as well. Oh yeah, that is true. Yes, they do offer great.
Yeah. So
we have that at the nonprofit pricing. Rick, you are freezing. You're cutting out quite a bit.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Just commenting really quick that, Topher, great pricing structure for nonprofits, and we definitely took advantage of that.
Yeah. And I think one of the best things about Shopify,
right. Erin, I think that might wrap up what we have.
I think so. Yeah.
If people want to reach out and have questions or want to connect with us, G or I, please do. Our LinkedIn and information is available. So, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.